Design a library for the future.
Oh, design a library for the future. So that's a really interesting question. Before we getting started into the details, I want to ask some questions to make sure that we are on the same page. So the first one is, what is my role to design this labyrinth? Am I a government, or I am a product manager in a tech company, or I am a entrepreneur? What is my role?
You can feel free to make assumptions. You can work for the government or work for huge tech companies. It's open for you to define. Just choose maybe one assumption that works the best for you.
Do you have some specific goal for me to build a library for the future?
We want this library to be super different with our current ones. Okay, it is for the future. It's not for the near future. So you can maybe look forward to 20 years or 30 years ahead and see what kind of libraries do you expect.
Okay, awesome. So can I understand that we want to build a definitely branding new library in the 20 or 30 years in the future? Okay, sounds great. So can you give me 1 or 2 minutes to write something down?
Sure.
Okay, I have came up with something very high level in my mind, and I want to discuss with you to make sure that we are on the same page. So I think that for library, we can the nature of library is a space for people to acquire knowledge, and also a space for people to communicate around the knowledge, right? So that's the nature, the basic function for the library. And because you have said that our time frame is in the 20 or 3 years later. So I think at that time, maybe the VR technology and the cloud and the 5G and the brain tech will be very mature compared to now. So I think we can take the advantage of such technology to build the very brand new innovative library. So and also I think that maybe in the future, in the not very near future, the traditional school will not be something like we have today. Like we need to have 9 years high school education. We need 4 years university higher education. Maybe at that time, library is a very good space or form for people to get education, and we do not have to divide the people's education into university, high school, or kindergarten, something like that. So basically, I want to set my goal for my Labyrinth as a space for people to get education. And I want to make my target segment very large, very general, because I think that's a pretty good opportunity for people, especially using the AR or brain technology, for them to get access to the knowledge in a space, no matter in the real world or the virtual world. I think that's basically the high level goal I want to set to my library.
Okay.
Does it matter to you?
Yeah, so basically your strategy is to utilize those technologies to provide users a place to acquire knowledge.
Yeah, and it can serve as a substitute of the current educational system, including university, high school, something like that.
Gotcha. Okay, sounds good.
Okay. And I will take some time to brainstorm about some pain points or some strategy or something like that. Okay. Okay, and I have some pinpoint things and some feature I want to build in my mind based on the goal I have set for my Labyrinth. So because I have said that I want to build a Labyrinth as a substitute for current education system, so I have brainstormed some weak point or pinpoint for current system. I think for the general education now, we cannot customize our own education, especially before we enter in the university. We are forced to enter 9-year general education, and to some extent, it's a little bit waste of time. But for the supply and the demand perspective, in the future's professional world, I think that there will be 3 type of person. The first one is the people who have skill set to work, they have coding skill and something like that. Maybe another type of a person, they just have some more knowledge of philosophy, art, something like that, and the other person, they are more be the kind of person who are leaders. So based on the goal of the education, I think that maybe customization is one of the biggest pain points for current educational system. And also when come back to the current librarian, maybe because current librarian, we need to go to a specific place to get access to the books, to the knowledge base, and that's very inconvenient, especially under the shock of the pandemic, and especially when we are forcing the future, people may just living in a virtual world, they just come between the virtual world and the real world very frequently. So I think maybe that's also a pain point of current library, right? And also the biggest difference between the library and the current system, current education is that when we're at school, we have teachers, we have real person teachers to get us to get some progress in the process of acquiring some knowledge. So I think if we want to set our future library as a place to get education, we maybe need some AI teacher or something like that to serve as a role of the teacher. That's also a pain point of current library if they want to be a place to people want to place to get education. And also because as we know that in the process we studying up some things, communicate, teamwork, and something like that, some community things is very important. And also for current librarian, maybe we didn't have a lot of like space or atmospheres to do that things, because at current librarian we need to be quiet. We cannot disturb others to read the books. So that's also a pain point of current like librarian. Yeah. And that's basically some like pain points I have in my mind about current library and the current educational system. Do you have some suggestions, or do you want me to cover more things to discuss with?
Could you do a summary of all the pain points you discovered?
Yeah, okay. Basically, I bring some pain points with current librarian. The first one is we cannot like get access to the librarian remotely, or we need to go to a specific place. The second one is that it's not easy for us to customize the education or the knowledge we want to get. And the third one is we cannot have a like teacher or assistant for us to design a like educational path for us. And the first one is that we do not have a community, have a space to communicate. Yeah. And for the current education, I think that the most thing is that we cannot customize our own educational. We need to enter the general education especially before university. Yeah.
I cannot fully understand the third point and the fourth point. The third one, why do you need an assistant for the education? Because like right now the teachers work just fine. Do you think there is anything wrong with the human teachers? And the fourth point you just brought up is about community. I don't quite get what do you mean by right now, like the students cannot get a community in their education. Because like for maybe primary school or high school, they all have classes, they all have cohort. So actually it serves like a community. What community do you mean by that?
Yeah, actually that's a point, because come back to my original goal. I want my librarian to be a substitute for the future education, right? So in the future, we will not have school, especially high school or primary school or kindergarten. People will go to the library for their education. So I just like want to attach the feature of the school to the librarian. So I think that because the reason why we go to the traditional school is that they have teachers, they have in personal education, and they will have a better outcome when we have a physical teacher instead of like a remote teacher or some AI teachers. So that's why we come up with a pain point of the current library.
Why do you think AI assistant is going to help with the situation?
Yes, maybe because I think that firstly, from the tech perspective, I think at that time maybe the AI technology will be more mature, and it can automatically like make a level customize a level and a path for you to get knowledge, no matter for the skill set or the like physical thing, or the philosophy or chemistry. They can like help you to for example, we can like divide the educational into 4 level. The first one is low, the medium, then high, then expert. Maybe the AI can help us to divide all the resources, including book, movie, videos, into different levels, and it can based on your performance to recommend the knowledge to you, and then you can get the personalized or customized education in the librarian.
Got you. So basically your assistant feature is based on your customized system.
Yeah. That's it. And also for the community things, that's also a compensation for the school. That's also libraries, because we don't have like community for library now, but the school also has this strong point or advantage. So if I want my library as a substitute for the school, so we need to provide a community to the people when they access the library. Yeah. Does it make sense?
Okay, so it is not like for the current education institutions, there aren't any communities for people, but based on your customized maybe future library that you want to build communities because they only have a system or like a system to communicate with.
Yes. And in current library, we actually, especially in the physical library, we are getting to be keep quiet. We cannot communicate. So that's also like current pinpoint for library we have now. Yeah. Okay. So based on because I have like kind of sort of like skipped the user segmentation part because I want to target the general people, because that's that I want to like serve as a like school, something like that. So I didn't like have a very target people. Maybe I can narrow down it to the people under 12 years old and maybe under 15 years old, because I have told that the biggest pinpoint of current education system is that they waste a lot of time for people to get general education. So maybe if we access to our future librarian, we can tremendously shorten the period people get educated, and then they can move into the professional period, I think. So I will like narrow down my my target user to the people who under 15 years old. Does it make sense to you?
Are there any other reasons that you want to target users under 15 years old? Because right now, like you are using your solution to assume your users backward. So if you think about designing a product for your target user, then why do you choose users under 15 years old? Is there maybe any business reasons or any mentality inside this choice?
Yeah. That's a good question. I think. Actually, that's a very rough estimation of from my judgment or from my thought. Because as I said that I think in the future, we will have three type of person, right? The first person is something like the expert of the technology of the skill set. Maybe it's not necessary for them to get some knowledge of chemistry or like philosophy, something like that. They directly like maybe before they get education, they have a like potential direction test or something like that to help them to find their potential, to find the type of person they want to be. Maybe from the very beginning, they from maybe they are kids, they are 6 or 7 years old, they begin to learn the computer science, and I think they can just focus on that and to have like 7 or 6 years to be an expert of computer science. So, and also for I just want to like make a more customized path for each type of person to just compare to current educational system. Does it make sense to you, or is there some confusions?
Do you think let's drop this question and take one step back. What do you think of the future society? Do you think they will be more functional and every individual will be divided, like what you said, divided to function earlier in their life? You think every one of them should serve a specific function in the society? Then do you think that different people could understand each other? Will they have a gap between them? Is there going to be a communication issue? What do you think of that part?
Oh, that's a really good question. That's why I want to build a community in the library, right? Because I think in the future we will be more like functional people, like will serve as different tab, art type person or computer science type person, leader type person. But during the like acquiring the expert acknowledging our library, we also can create an community for them to like play together, work together, do some team job to calculate or foster their collaboration skill set or communication skill set in the meantime when they grows up. So that's a reason why I want to build a community to solve this kind of issues.
Okay.
So if you not have another things, I can go dive into the feature design or the detailed design about that. Okay. Okay, I have some like features in my mind and the prioritization and something about product roadmap. And also I think very quickly about the metrics we need to like pay attention to. Okay. I have a talk about like 4 main pain points about the library. So actually I think that for the I will prioritize the customization or personalization first, because maybe we will use the cloud technology to build a very complete knowledge pro, and we will train some ML model or AM model to help people to design their own educational paths. I think it's a basic function or needed for our library or for our main goal, because we want to like give people a space to get education. So that will be the first priority. And second one I have mentioned about is that people need to like get access to the library remotely or using some new technology. So I think maybe the second of the P2 or the P1 feature or some design will be that we can build some virtual world using the VR headset or AR things to help people to get into any community or any groups or any space when they acquiring the knowledge in the library. And although the technology for the headset of the VR is not very virtual today, people will be fuzzy when they stay in the VR headset over 1 hours. But I think especially after 30 years, I think that experience will be totally different. So I have like confidence to say that maybe we could create a VR combined AR experience for our librarian. And for VR, they can just get into the community or get into the space or the environment which is related to the knowledge he's now learning. For example, when he is learning something, when he is learning the history, we can just get him into the specific thing, the history, the period of the history. He can just talk with the people, with Shakespeare, something like that. It will be more interesting and interactive. And also we can use some AR technology. I think that's a second priority. And for the third priority is our community, right? Because we have said that we want to give them a community to communicate, to help them to foster collaboration skill set, something like that. But as we all know, that community is a very long-term thing to build, especially for community ecosystem, something like that. So we need a more longer time to like build a very healthy and high quality community. That's basically what's how I prioritize all my features. And for my product roadmap, I think I have discussed about that, mentioned about that, is that for a short time goal, I will try to build a very complicated and large pool of the knowledge, make sure that we can record all the knowledge, including the video, content, article, books, all types of knowledge in my pool to get a very large and complete things. And also we need to constantly train the ML model or AI model to help people to customize their education, or train an AI assistant or AI teachers to help people to get very high quality education, right? And for the long time goal, we need to constantly build our community. And when talking about the metrics, because this is more like the things physically, not a like app or web we have now. So maybe the metrics will be totally different from our current metrics like engagement, something like that. Maybe we need to, as our main goal is to like set a space for people to get education. So I think maybe the North Star metrics should be every person's performance score when they get education from our library. Yeah, that's basically what I have in my mind. Do you have something for me to, you want me to discuss more or cover?
Let me ask you one more question. So what is the vision you have for your future library? Besides it is an education institution. You cannot say it is a substitution for education institution, because it is a future library, right? You need to do something different.
Yeah.
So what is the vision for your library, and how do you want to get there in the long term?
Vision. Yeah, right. That's an interesting question. I think our vision will be I think that will be just help people to get high quality, personalized, and diverse education in the future. And how do I implement it in the long run? I think that's a very hard question, because if we want to like make evolution to the current educational, we need to build a lot of things. Maybe from now we need to take some action, because based on my current idea, there will be a lot of potential risk or obstacle we need to conquer. Maybe the first one it's very hard for us to record all of the knowledge into digital version, right? There are a lot of books in the world, and there are a lot of like music or something there in the physical. We need to like use a lot of human resource and the time to like put all of our like all of the humans knowledge into the digital version. That's a big work and job, right? So maybe if I will like take a long plan or make a long plan, maybe from now we need to like begin this work right now to prepare for the future librarian. And also I think at that time, because I have mentioned about we need cloud technology, AR, VR technology, maybe bring technology. So from now we need to continue constantly optimize this kind of technology, no matter in the hardware perspective or the software perspective, right? And also maybe from now we need to like have some discussion with the government, with the educational system to discuss about the potential opportunity to lead evaluation to the future's education. Yeah, that's basically what I will do in the long-term strategy, I think.
Anything else to add?
No.
What do you think of this?
I think it's really interesting question, not a very typical PM interview question. So it's kind of like out of my expectation. And I think for me, I think I basically focus on the structure to answer a product design question. But I think maybe I can do better in the user segmentation, feature brainstorm, and the metric things. Yeah.
Let me ask one more question then. Just to take a guess, okay? What company should probably could have an interview question like this?
I think Google, right?
Yeah, it is an interview question from Google. So if you are answering a question like this, it is very moonshot and needs your creativity.
Moonshot.
The thing is, the solutions you're talking about throughout your answers are the things that already exist nowadays, right? If you think about VR, AR, or AI, those are the things that already exist. If you want the libraries to be a substitution of the education system, then it is just your business strategy, right? It is not about like the future library that Google wants you to answer. So you might, the first thing is you might want to spend more time to build your vision, to imagine what it is like to be in the future, just to be in the future. Let's don't talk about the library first. Just to imagine what it is like to be in the future after 20 years, after 30 years. Is human going to live on another planet, right? All those interesting questions you never asked, right? You can make assumptions. You can do bold assumptions, like maybe human just conquered another planet, or maybe there are other aliens coming to the Earth, right? Or we know more about the ocean, so we can control the environment, like every single metric of the environment, right? We can make the Earth a digital world. You can make all of those assumptions at the beginning of your answer, just to make sure that your idea is moonshot enough.
Yeah. I that's also a question I want to ask you. That I have a hard time when I do some clarification questions. I do not know what I need to ask.
Yeah, so you can have a vision first. So basically, when I ask you to design a library for the future, the thing is, I give you the 20 to 30 years, right? You can have your own assumption. You can be bold enough to ask me. It is fair enough for me to assume I just design a library for 100 years after. It is fair for me to assume that at that place, maybe there will be fewer human beings on the planet because there are all kinds of accidents happening on the Earth because of the environment situation we're happening here. So you can, you should have the imagination if you are Google APM. Okay.
Okay. I learned something. I learned new point.
I feel like
so another question. Another question is that I want to ask that how can I foresee the technology train or the in the 20 or 30 in the future? How can I balance the realism between the boring thing, crazy things? How can I balance that?
Yeah, there are technologies that human is currently conquering. There are also technologies that human already have and try to monetize it. So if you are talking about the situation after 20 years, do not talk about the products that they're trying to monetize, like Oculus, right? AR, VR is already,
makes sense.
It's just how they want to monetize it. You want to talk about the things that haven't happened yet, right? It is going to be like in the future, like all the cars will just use electricity instead of gas, right? Or maybe there will be there won't be cars anymore. There will just be planes all over the place. So those are the things that we haven't conquered, we haven't done yet, or we haven't done completely. So maybe you want to make assumptions about those areas, or maybe blockchain is popular enough, then all the intellectual properties are on blockchain, and all like we don't have every currency from each country, then we just use blockchain to do all the trading. So you can, these are the things that humans haven't complete yet. You can make assumptions, feel free to make assumptions in that area.
Yeah, makes sense. Just to be more bored when I'm thinking about some things.
Yeah, I would say from your answer, the red flag will be you do not show me the creativity through this answer. You do not have your vision for the future. You should like, maybe if you want to interview a Google APM program, you probably want to read more sci-fi to get in.
Okay.
To make sure that you have enough imagination to answer their questions. So that is the
I will do that.
That is the most important. And besides this, all like from your answer first, you have great communication. I can see that you improve your English speaking. Can see the improvements there. Keep the work. You need to do more mock interviews. Right now, you can see like you feel comfortable. The first step is to let you feel comfortable to speak English, and the second step is you have your own framework. And when you switch from one step to another, you have your sentences to make that switch. So you just make you more comfortable to make that switch and make it more efficient for you to talk about the sentences that actually do not express your idea.
Okay.
And the third
part, practicing. Okay.
Yeah, and the third step, you will be more comfortable like talking about all this product stuff, and then you will feel like it is so easy for you to talk about your product idea, but it is not that easy for you to talk about unrelated stuff or like casual conversations with your colleagues. That is your another step. So keep the hard work, you will get there.
Okay. Okay.
And when you talk about pain points, first, you didn't do user segmentation. You talk about that, right? Even though you want to create this product for the general public, you still need to have the first user segment that you want to tackle first. So the user segment is also a red flag from your answer, because you need to have your users target users first. Then you can use your user empathy to feel their pain points. That is like a logic thing. You cannot think about the pain points first and then go back to user segmentation. And when you talk about pain point, they make me feel like they're solutions. Like you already talk about AI assistant. You already talk about building a community. Those are solutions. They're not pain points. So you probably want to tell the interviewer how pain those pain points are, why the users are having those pain points right now. Is this something happening right now? Like based on what you said, maybe the COVID change users' behavior, or it is something that is going to happen in the future. Maybe we don't have enough land for us to build the libraries or like education institutions. So maybe because the planet is getting warmer, then there will be more areas covering under ocean than the lands that we can actually live on. So those are all those possibilities, right? So you might want to resonate the pain points. Why users are having this pain point, how painful they are. These are the things that you want to talk about in the pain point step. Then for the solution, you are going to like, bang, I'm going to give you a solution to solve those pain points. In that case, you will give the interviewer like a feeling like you designed the solution just for the pain points. Do not talk about the solutions right before, because that makes the interviewer feel like you already have a solution in your mind. You don't care about like user segmentation, where exactly what the pain points are. You just have a random solution in your mind and you do not know how to support your solution. And another thing, at the beginning of your answer, you might want to talk about some trends for your strategy. You might want to have a broader vision. When I ask you, what is your vision? The answer you're giving me is not a vision, it's a mission. The mission.
Yeah, I also have I'm very confused about the difference between vision and the mission. Yeah.
Mission is something that you will do. And vision is something that you could see in the future, but right now, nobody else can see the same future as you. So basically, the vision is something that you want to build. You want to build maybe like a different future using your company. So for example, for Tesla's vision, they have accelerated the world's transition to sustainable energy, right? It is not a mission. The mere mission is to sell more cars, right? Or like to make the electric vehicle or their solar system more public among the individuals, right? This is their mission, and their vision is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. Are they covering all the aspects from the sustainable energy? Definitely no, but that is their vision. The same thing happened for LinkedIn. If you talk about LinkedIn's vision, that is create economic opportunity for everybody, right? What do they mean by economic opportunity? It is a very vague word. Economic opportunities means a lot of things. It is not only for jobs, right? There are also like other opportunities where other services or even whether those services are like real, right? There are also economic opportunities. So that is very vague. The thing is, they have this vision because they want to make the economic graph for every opportunity so that they could connect better from the supply side and the demand side. And if you think about the mission that LinkedIn has, is actually to connect the professionals together and make them more successful and productive. So this is actually something we're currently doing right now. The vision is not something that you want to make in your daily work, but the mission is definitely something you are doing in a day-to-day basis.
Gotcha. So you mean that I need to come up with both the mission and the vision at the beginning of the interview, right?
The reason why I asked you that question is I could not see the vision you gave me for the future. Like, what is the future? What does the future look like? What is your definition for future?
Okay.
So I want to...
Actually, I set the overall goal in the beginning. Can that things be like proxy things for the vision or mission?
That is not the same thing. The goal that you are trying to achieve is the goal you have for your like business plan or your product, right? If I'm talking about LinkedIn right now, our goal is to increase engagement. Does they have anything to do with the economic opportunities or professionals? We're talking about product here, and we're talking about the goal of this product to improve, like maybe right now we are improving engagement. So these are totally different things. And the reason why I asked you this question is because I do not see your strategy at the very beginning. Like you don't have your imagination of what the future look like. So that's why I asked you about a mission, to make sure that if I have a creativity to check, then you might want to show me creativity for the interviewer to check that box.
Yeah, makes sense.
And also when you talk about solutions, I noticed that you talk about like P0 priority or like P1 priority. For the interviewer, they don't know what you have on your paper. So they don't have a whole picture of what are the solutions you might have. And they don't know why you assign P0 to the first one and the P1 to the second one. So you probably want to talk about all the solutions first and compare them with whatever criteria you have and talk about how you want to prioritize them. Because prioritization is also a skill set for product managers. So you might want to elaborate a little bit on that instead of like telling the interviewer directly what is the priority I assign to a specific solution. And that's it.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions?
Nope. Thank you for having Jiajing to my interview. Yeah, I learned a lot of things.